fireflies.
Oh,
10 million fireflies
I totally forgot.
got in your house.
As you fall
I don't know,
asleep.
They fill the open air with new frog mobs everywhere.
Hold on, we're gonna get copyrighted.
It's not enough of this. We should be good.
Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Gamemode C, the show where Minecraft is temporary and Froggy Chair is immortal. I am Freddy, also known as Crafty Type 1.
I am Jacob, also known as TatorTot.
And that was probably the smoothest intro I've ever done. Yeah, so it's spooky month. I didn't know, we didn't say this last podcast, and also welcome back. How was your week break?
What do you mean week break? You've put me in the video editing lab downstairs for the last 48 hours.
Bro, you haven't even.
I'm a slave. Listen, I'm blink twice if I need help.
You blinked more than twice, so.
No, that's because it's urgent.
Yeah. You haven't edited a video yet. Speaking of video editor, Itas.
Yes.
I mean, you have edited one, but you haven't edited one since we moved.
True.
Yeah. What editing basement?
Because I don't know how Etis does it, man. Freddy handed me the video clip, and I was ready to just move out and quit. And I couldn't take it anymore.
I mean, I'm looking to try and make just my raw recording less choppy, so you don't have to cut as much. But yeah, Itas. I mean, shout out to him. His link's in the description below. He's been editing videos like a boss. He's on a little break because he's going on a little vacation, but that's fine.
Yeah, I got my vacation, and so Freddy had to overwork Itaz instead of me.
Overwork?
And now
I'm telling him, it's like, okay, calm down. He wanted to do 6 videos, and I'm like, okay, no, I'll give you 2. Yeah, but I'm just gonna
type on channels a sweatshop. Some insider news for y'all.
I'm gonna say this now. Comment down below. We gotta say this in the beginning. Like today's video. Comment down below any questions for the chat box, and because next week I'm gonna only pick questions of the week for this from the YouTube comment, because we've been going from Discord a lot. But we got quite a bit to talk about today. Minecraft Live, Animal Crossing Direct, and Christmas comes early, I guess. I guess let's just.
Not even Thanksgiving. It's not even Halloween yet.
I know.
Christmas is already coming early.
Christmas. We'll get into this when we talk about it. But Christmas is just going farther back and back and back. Soon it's just going to be like, okay, we have Christmas deals in January, and it's like, But yeah, let's get into this. In today's news. Who says that? Let's get right into the news.
You're complaining that I was going to get us copyrighted.
Okay. Okay. Minecraft Live came out this Saturday, or last Saturday, not this Saturday, October 16th. I completely forgot about it. I was going to stream my reaction to it and just forgot. Yeah. I knew about the mob vote. I voted, but I
did not vote. I abstained.
I just completely forgot about the direct, or not the direct, that's just the Minecraft Live. Also, the Minecraft Live was 2 hours long, and it's all about Minecraft. And I'm kind of glad I didn't watch it, because watching the VOD, I'm like, skip. Because, I mean, yes, it's cool. Yes, they showed technical stuff with, caves and cliffs. But it's like, I kind of just wanted to know what's coming next. So, speaking of what they announced in Minecraft Live, Caves and Cliffs Part 2 is coming later this year without skulkers, or whatever they're called, and without archaeology. It's just bigger caves, which is fine.
Unfortunately.
I feel like this update is big enough as is.
I'm interested to see how they're going to optimize it. Because I know I think I've talked about this before, 1.12 RL Craft, which is 200 something mods, runs smoother than 1.17 vanilla. So,
and that was the issue. The main issue is not Java Edition, it's Bedrock. Because on Java Edition, they would just put the thing as well, if your PC doesn't handle it, well, too bad. But since this is Bedrock Edition and Java, and they're trying to make this playable on a phone, so because they released Caves and Cliffs on Java, it's just like a snapshot, and it's basically the full version. But yeah, they got some optimization to do with it, and they did like a whole segment on how the coders and the developers are like, oh, I'm so excited when I see like 2 extra frames, and I'm like, yay, yay. But we gotta wait, I assume, till Christmas. They didn't have an exact release date.
I thought you said Christmas was coming early.
December, I think. November, December. I mean, it's the only 2 months left. They say later this year. It'll have to be near Thanksgiving or near Christmas break, I feel like.
Yeah. If they're smart, they'll do it like the 17th. So that way you have like the kids have the entire Christmas break
to play it.
To play.
Yeah. Minecraft joins Xbox Game Pass, Minecraft Java Edition, and Bedrock Edition, because with Java Edition, you now have to link your Microsoft account. So I assume that's how they're going to track it.
Yeah.
Did you ever link your Microsoft account?
I did.
I know some people that haven't, and I didn't even know there was an option not to. I thought they were forcing everyone to.
I thought they implied that it was like we're migrating everyone. And if you don't have one, then you'll make one.
Some people in the Discord, check that out if you haven't already, Crafty Cafe, be in the description, said that they haven't even migrated their accounts yet. And I'm like, I thought we were forced to, because I mean, did you get your cape?
Probably.
Well, because I know you actually had to redeem the cape. It's not like, and there's only like an expiry date too. So like they tried making it rare, but like the people who did it, there's like 1,000 people who have a cape now, or more than thousands, probably millions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Xbox Game Pass. That's already really good value, but I just hate subscription models. I rather own this stuff, and we'll get to a big subscription model that I don't like, but yeah, Bedrock Edition gets modding tools, like its own modding client. Everything is great. Java Edition doesn't have any, which, I mean, Microsoft is just like, oh, play Bedrock. It's the definitive version. But
yeah. I feel like Java, though, just has so many mods. Bedrock won't be able to compete for a while. It's just so behind in the mod game.
That and Bedrock mods are locked behind a paywall.
Are they really?
Well, yeah, it's the Minecraft Marketplace? That's what they call it.
Unbelievable. Java just keeps coming out on top. I mean, it's just every single time.
To be honest, though, the Minecraft, because I did buy a couple, because when you buy it for the PC, the Bedrock Edition, you get like 30,000 mine coins, which is the premium currency, which I think equates to like $30. It's the same price that you pay for the game. So I bought some stuff. It's kind of cool. Skins cost money. The maps cost money. The mods cost money. It's just like, But some of them are legitimate games. Like there was this game I bought where you're literally running a restaurant, and they coded it and everything. And it's like, oh, this is pretty cool. I'd pay $5 for it. Of course, it was $12, but you know.
Bro, yeah, I'm not a microtransactions guy. I will just.
Yeah. If I didn't have it for free, I wouldn't pay for it. Like if I didn't get those 30,000 free mine coins. The only reason I use mine coins is for realms, but I don't even use realms on Bedrock anymore because now we have a server, and school has been kicking my butt.
Yeah.
Speaking of Game Pass, Minecraft Dungeons is on Game Pass, and every single one of the DLC, I think that was already announced, but Minecraft Dungeon gets more DLC called the Seasonal Adventures. Yeah.
We still haven't been able to play Minecraft Dungeons. We tried to log in after an update, and it we would type in our Mojang login, and it would just keep loading, and it would never go to anything, so we couldn't really play the game.
I'm half tempted to buy it on Steam, but
your computer could handle it better than the Switch. I know there was times where I'm like, when you're just surrounded by particle effects, and visually it's slowing down. It's struggling to get through the game sequence. But
it was super fun when I played it. But now, I looked at some videos. It looks way better on the PC than the Switch, of course, because the Switch is like.
Well, I mean, it always has.
Yeah, but the game changed so much. You could now trade with other people. There's now like villager huts and stuff. Because we played day one, and we finished the game before any major update, so we never really got back into it after the first DLC pass.
We started the first DLC and we never finished it. And we haven't played since.
Yeah. I would like to get back into it, but if I were to, I think I'd buy it on Steam.
PC.
Yeah.
You know, back when we first bought it, somebody, I can't remember the guy's name, but somebody recommended that we get it on PC rather than the Switch. But some other person who I can't remember shot that idea down.
That was back when I didn't have a beefy PC. That's like if I could either run Discord or I could run Minecraft. I can't do both. Like I remember back when I was playing Minecraft, I used to have like my phone run Discord. So it was like...
That's horrible.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could understand my pain. So now...
You can understand my wallet's pain that I need to spend an additional $20 that I would have had to spend.
Well, I mean, now that there's a lot of DLC. I think it totals around, like, it's a $60 game now if you want to buy the game plus all the DLC. Which, I don't know if you want to, like... It just depends how you argue about it. Oh, you know, all this should be included with the base game. Because one can argue that the game was unfinished when we played it, I feel like. Because they added a bunch of stuff where it's like, why wasn't this in the original game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they even had, like, the they set up the DLCs in the base game. Mm-hmm. They had, like, the little island thing that was locked, and they're like, oh, you know, coming soon, I think it said.
Yeah. I feel like those...
it felt so... We got through it so quickly.
Well, we got through... I think in total we spent 20 hours completing the whole story mode. But that was the original story mode, the easy mode, and then the master mode, or the whatever the harder difficulty is.
Well, I know we were so ahead. The only reason we were still playing was just to get the best armor we could get.
Oh, yeah, I got like the legendary spider armor and everything. And I think that's all. I think it's the whole reason why we played. We just kind of grinded it, and then after the grinding got no fun, we stopped. But then they added more ways to get better gear. Like you can now upgrade your gear instead of throwing it away, which completely defeats the purpose. I feel like because there was points where like,
we spent all that time.
Yeah, I love this. So I think if I were to play again, I'd completely restart because it'd just be difficult to get back in with my loadout because my loadout I feel like it's kind of overpowered now, and yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that got more updates. Again, I'd like to play it. Then we get into the big new Minecraft update. Minecraft Wild update. And I'll just go ahead and list off everything and we'll talk about it. So we get the new mangrove swamp biome. In that comes frogs and mud. There's a new cave biome called the Deep Dark. And this includes a new structure. I forgot what that was called. But then this is all based around the Skulk Blocks that was actually pushed back an update. And then there's new boats with chests. And then the LA won the mob vote. Let's start with the LA. Did you want it or did you not? You didn't vote at all.
Yes, I was not fully educated on all the facts, so I felt that it was not best for me to vote. So I know there was a big craze around the copper golem.
Yes. But it's like they all filled a specific niche, and I feel like the LA filled a better niche because there was one I forgot what the moss guy was, the gloom. That's what we call it. The gloom leads the player toward areas where mobs can spawn, and the first thing I thought of was
why?
What about F3?
F3 check the light level,
and then the copper golem. It's another golem brings more uses of copper. Brings copper buttons. The copper golem presses buttons at a random time. But part of me thinks, like, remember that redstone randomizer where you had the chicken and it just walks in between the two blocks? One's a pressure plate, one's not. And I'm like, isn't that just that? And they feel like they already had solutions that were not too difficult. Like if the copper golem solution was, okay, you had a wall of buttons and then like, I don't know. Because you can even make like a randomizer with a hopper system. I don't know. But then the LA was able to retrieve items that you give it, and it brings more lore because it's actually it's like a friendly version of the Hex. It's like the nice version.
Yeah.
But I think I like the allay. The allay won the mob vote. The allay can grab items that you give it. That's about it.
Now, is it like, how does that mechanic work exactly? Do you give it the item and then it just like it goes away, spawns it, and then comes back with it?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I think, well, from what they showed, you give it the mob, it goes away, and comes back with more. So it could be you give it, it runs away, spawns back, it comes in, or you give it, it follows you around, picks up any items that, you know, that are the same. Are you able to tame it? Do you have to like have it on a lead for it to follow you? Some stuff we don't know until later.
Yeah.
What did you think of the new swamp update?
I think it's pretty cool. I think the swamp has been kind of neglected. You have your occasional witch hut and your shoot trees and lily pads and different grass texture, and that's about it. So I think to have like a new kind of type of swamp is pretty cool. I think they probably could have. I mean, all of this update is for the swamp. They add the mangrove swamp. They add mobs and they add a new block, which we'll get into all that in a second. But it's not really like anything substantial.
Well, I feel like what the Caves and Cliffs update did, that was such a big update. It kind of made this one seem small, even though I feel like every other update was this big. It wasn't like, I guess you had the Nether update. I guess this is a kind of small update. They need a break, to be honest, and I don't mind.
I do. Give me best content you could put out every 24 hours. I mean, that was the thing though, like with Microsoft, they have the capacity to put out these updates a lot faster than I think Mojang ever could have.
Yeah. And I feel like that's good, but I feel like they bit off more they can chew with the Caves and Cliffs update to the point where I'm going to mention this now, there's no archaeology at all. And that was supposed to be a part of the Caves and Cliffs update. And I thought they were going to push that back to this update, but they just completely got rid of it. And I guess it's probably going to come out in another update. And right now, I could probably predict the next update, because this was the mangrove swamp, right? And I'm trying to think. This was actually a part of the biome vote. Do you remember
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
I remember there being a biome vote.
Yeah, biome vote was swamp, Sahara, or desert. And
Sahara.
Yeah, the Sahara biome. They would have added
Savannah, you mean?
Oh, Savannah. Yes, sorry. Sahara. But
I mean, this is Sahara Desert. I don't know. That's like
this is that. Savannah. But they had the swamp, Savannah, and the desert. And the swamp had basically what they detailed here. It would bring frogs. It would bring, longer trees that you could ride boats under. And it's basically this update. So a part of me thinks the next update is going to be like a desert themed update that include archaeology. Because if you think desert,
that makes sense.
I think archaeology. And there's going to be more structures added to the desert, and then the Sahara or Savannah as well, because Savannah is basically desert 1.5
with trees.
Yeah, desert with trees. I'm already predicting the next one. This one's fine. This one adds frogs, and there's 3 different variations of frogs. Frogs that could spawn on top of cliffs, and they become cold-blooded frogs. And then tropical frogs, which are warm-blooded frogs that are spawned inside coral biomes, coral reefs, and then the normal ones.
Yeah, I think they're pretty cool. They're very another derpy. Cute mob to add to the game. Yeah,
I like it though.
It's another nice mob to add to the game to make it more lively, I guess.
They also added another ambient mob, and I completely forgot about it until you mentioned it before the recording. Fireflies. And so there's a subclass of mobs called ambient mobs, and the only mob that fits that description is bats, because they have no drops. They also have they don't attack you. So I guess another subclass would be, or another mob to be added to that subclass is fireflies, because they have no drops and all they do is provide ambience.
Yeah. Do you think you're going to be able to, because I know the frogs can reach out and grab them. Do you think we're going to be able to swing weapons and attack them, or are they just going to be
I think it's going to be like bats are. You're able to kill them, but what's the point? Just
they don't drop it. Just to get out some unreleased rage if you have any.
I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to catch them in a bottle as well.
Use that as a new torch system.
Yeah, maybe it's ambient lighting. Did they add torches, or not torches, flashlights? No, they didn't.
Not that I know.
In the mob vote trailer, what was his name? Jeb. He was recording. He was holding a flashlight, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're gonna add flashlights." But I could definitely see Firefly being like an ambient kind of lighting, where you hold it and it's just like a torch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just get shaders.
Yeah. But yeah, frogs look super cool, super derpy. They remind me of just how the axolotls were when they got announced. Just everyone was like, "Oh, how cute," and that's exactly like, "Oh, how cute."
Do you think we're gonna be able to breed the frogs and like
Yeah, of course.
farms?
You could breed.
Well, but I would imagine that if you are able to catch the fireflies, that would be the breeding tool because frogs don't really eat wheat or carrots
Do they
or
eat
potatoes.
fish? No, because there's tropical frogs. Because the axolotls eat tropical fish, and that's how you breed them.
I don't think frogs are carnivorous, or they are carnivorous. They eat insects, but I don't think they eat other fish. I don't know though. I mean, they eat the fireflies ambiently, so I think if there is going to be a breeding thing, it would make the most sense to be able to catch fireflies and use them.
Yeah. I hope they add more ambience because I feel like Minecraft is kind of just barren in that sense, where like nothing's happening around you. It's just you and other players. And if you're able to see frogs eat flies or like wolves hunting down sheep, but that's already in the game, but it doesn't happen naturally, really. Or yeah, other stuff like that I feel like would be cool. It'd be cool if you see like elephants fighting each other for like dominance. Like that'd be cool.
And like the savannah.
Mm-hmm. I'm more excited for the next update than this one. This one's a good gap update, just nice and small. Because the next one, if this one's small, the next one should be quote unquote big. And if it's an archaeology update, that'd be cool.
That also revamps the desert.
Desert and savannah, or just the desert.
New desert. Because if this update's adding new structures, which we'll get into. But I think if they do go for the desert, then there's tons of like ways you can incorporate desert structures.
New dungeon as well in the desert. I can imagine.
Yeah, sorry, but the desert temples are just kind of they get redundant after years.
I feel like if they replace it, it's gonna be like replacing a core thing in Minecraft.
Oh, I'm not saying you have to replace it, but just add more.
Oh, just add. Well, now I think about it, they replaced vanilla villages and everyone didn't care. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, they added some new blocks, mud, so they added a couple new blocks, mud and roots. Roots are just like an ambient block that connects to the trees to kind of make them like overpasses. I believe you could break them and get sticks. I think that's how it goes. There's new vines and new vine blocks as well. But mud was the major key block. You can make mud by adding water to dirt, like a water bottle, dumping it on there to make mud. Then you could dry the mud block and make mud bricks. But yeah, it actually, if it wasn't like classified as mud, I'd totally use this as building. It looks so cool.
Yeah, I mean the bricks look nice too. I feel like they're gonna go with a lot of various like accent styles.
So you have stone, which is like super gray, and it's like the opposite end of the neutral. It's like too neutral, I feel like, where it's like just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. But then this mud block is a good kind of neutral way. It could fit with almost any wood, I feel like, if you do it with. Yeah. I think that's about it with mud. I think it's a good addition. Then we got Skulk Blocks. I think that's what they're called, Skulker Blocks. This was supposed to be added.
Not to be confused with Shulker Box.
Yeah. So I think we're getting ready for a new dimension with this new deep dark biome and the new dungeon.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if this was on an episode or if it was just in our like a private conversation, but I know I had mentioned this. Like, there's a deep dark mod that's in a lot of the Feed the Beast mod packs. I know, and it's literally just like a vast empty stone cave, and mob spawning is increased. And what a lot of people do in the mod pack is they just go and they set up a quarry, like the auto miner, and then they just never go back to the dimension again, because it just like collects the all the ores that are in the deep dark and sends them over like they have an interdimensional chest. But I feel like it's also literally called the Deep Dark. It literally just ripped the name. But I feel like there's a lot of potential with this, like you were saying, like a new dimension.
I feel like
whoops. And like there's so many potential bosses they could do. They could do like some version, they have like a warden as like a mini boss, and then you can have like the big like the commandant or whatever. You have like a warden in charge of a prison. You're like the director. I don't know. They wouldn't,
The director.
I would hope they wouldn't name a mob the director.
Yeah.
But
I mean, so I think I forgot if the warden's coming in the Caves and Cliffs update. I think it is the warden mob.
Well, they announced them for like initially with the Cave and Cliffs, didn't they?
Well, yeah, but they announced a lot of stuff. They announced archaeology, but they're pushing that back till undisclosed. And then they announced the skulkers, but they're pushing that back. I can't remember if the warden was.
Well, I know the dungeons, the like entrance had a warden head design on it.
So I mean,
so
the
maybe. Go ahead.
The deeper you go, so we keep mentioning this dungeon. I forgot what it's called, but it's just in this new biome, the deep dark biome. You can find this dungeon that's built around these skulkers, and it's kind of like an abandoned. The best way is just like another stronghold, but like deeper in there, because skulker blocks can only spawn like in the negatives, because you got to Y0, and anything below that, I think it goes 32 blocks below, is where the skulkers can spawn, and that's where you can find the wardens and such. And they have an interesting mechanic where they react to noise, and you can now get stuff that deafen your feet and stuff like that. But there's now a huge building dungeon structure that you can explore that we don't know much about.
I think it would be kind of cool if they do that dimension thing, is you have like the various dungeons and you have to take down the warden for, each dungeon.
Yeah.
And you get items to build like the portal to the new dimension. Yeah, and that's where you get like the big warden or whatever they would call it.
So I see, like the warden's just like the wither skulls of the nether.
Yeah, they're like nether fortresses, and the warden's like, I mean, I guess they're not comparable because they're not like spawning in droves, but maybe like a drop of the warden or an item that you get
I can see the warden,
the dungeon.
I say warden crying, but he can't. He doesn't have eyes. I should have researched this. I don't know if the warden's coming in the Caves and Cliffs update. They did announce some new stuff with the Caves and Cliffs. They announced how mine shafts are going to work. Like they could be above massive drops, so you could be like, walking and you could just fall to your death, which I think is kind of cool.
Well, they kind of have that now, where it's like you can just stick a mine shaft through a ravine.
Yeah, but like, I mean, ravines are only so big. Like these ones are just like massive areas. Yeah.
You fall into the deep dark biome.
So I can't wait for the Caves and Cliffs. I feel like it's a good update. It's a shame they're pushing all this back, but I think they really did bit off more than they can chew.
You know what would be a cool addition is, I mean, they haven't announced this, so I don't really expect it to happen. But if they do add either another dimension or just with the increased cave capacities, I think having like, what are those birds called? They're like canaries, I want to say. Or they send them into the cave to make sure it's safe.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And there's not like gas coming out. Obviously, there wouldn't be natural gas deposits in Minecraft, but
I think that'd be super interesting. Like imagine like you have to gear up to get a certain amount of gear to go deeper in the caves. I don't think they do that, but
I mean they already have parrots, so it's not like you just remodel them or like retexture them.
I do want to see,
because they already have like the flying mechanics and such.
It's a shame that every update we only get like 3 mobs, because I think 5 would be comparable. So because the world needs to get more action. I think I keep saying that needs to be more activity in the world. Yeah. Last thing that they announced was boats with chests. I don't
know why this hasn't been.
It's such a random thing. Yeah. When Jeb gave the LA little
he pulled up in the boat.
He pulled up in a boat. There's been so many memes of that. It's like, oh, Jeb be taking all these girls with rocking up in a boat chest or chest boat.
It's like when you're at like the stoplight and the guy's got like the sports car, but he's like rowing a boat with a chest behind him.
You want to hop in? Chest is empty.
You want to hop in? You just see the of like the chest opening.
That'd be funny. But yeah, I think it's a good addition, and I think they're putting more emphasis on boat travel, anyways, because the mangrove swamp has these like massive roots that you're able to go under, and they made a point to say that, oh yeah, you could go under these trees, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
It'd be kind of cool. Again, they didn't announce this. This is just what I would like to see. But they had like what would the term be? Like a shipbuilder trade for the villagers, so you can buy like
a sail
stuff.
Because
if you're building a ship, then I think that's almost
Yeah.
like its own update. But even just like a basic stuff, like you can get a bigger chest for your boat, or simple upgrades like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way you there would be like ports. You would have villages on water lines
Yeah.
with ports as like a unique structure to those villages.
Yeah.
And then I know a lot of people in Minecraft like to build ports like just in their
Or
builds,
I like to
but
build
there's no
ports, but
practical use to
yeah.
them. They're just kind of like decoration.
I don't even
But this
leave
would
my
actually give
boat
them a
there
use.
anymore either. I just like I break it because it's like I'm not gonna leave from this specific dock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I think again, Minecraft Live is that it's 2 hours long, and I really don't think it needs to be 2 hours, but I'm glad it happens. Minecraft is such a big game. I feel like it should have its own direct.
Yeah.
But then again, 2 hours still. Overall,
Yeah.
I think this is just a buffer for a bigger update next one, which is probably going to be like an archaeology update, which is probably going to be a big one. So normally what game studios do is they do a small project while half of the team is working on the big project, and then after that one's released, they announce it, and they announce it a year from now, and then their whole team's working on the big project. So yeah. Overall, what did you think?
I thought it was cool. I mean, it's not the same as Minecon, but
I wonder if they're ever
it's
going to
good
do a
enough.
normal Minecon again.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to go. Like, yeah.
Just to go. Check it off my bucket list. Go to a Minecon
Because
before
that
I
was
die.
on my bucket list when I was like 8. And
it was like, I don't think you're ever gonna get it as close as Vegas again, unfortunately.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, if there is one, it would be either next year or next year. And I feel like by that time, I should have enough money to just like, oh yeah, I'll go there. Yeah, I mean, I'm saving up for Japan. We're probably gonna have a whole nother podcast on just vacations.
I'll be hosting that one because this is actually a field that I'm experienced in, and not just me, bouncing off of Freddy's Nintendo ideas for once.
But yeah, loved it. Can't wait to see more from Mojang. Thank you for making it this far in the video. If you guys do enjoy, be sure to leave a like and comment down below any questions you have for me and Jacob for next week's episode. We'll be pulling questions from this YouTube video only to answer on next week's. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. We do these videos every Wednesday, as well as additional content every other day of the week. And be sure to join our Discord community, the Crafted Cafe. We don't serve coffee, but it's 10 times better than the Brewster's Cafe. Anyways, let's get back into the video.
Speaking of topics that I am not acquainted with and usually take a backseat to, Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing just had its live, or its own version of Nintendo Direct. It was 20 minutes long, jam-packed with information. I streamed it live with a bunch of people. I think we had 10 people with me, which was pretty big for me at least. We watched it live. It was great, gotta say. I know you're not a big Animal Crossing fan, but if this was just like a normal Direct, it had no slow points. It had shocking points. It was like I was engaged the whole time. And oh my god, yeah, it was good. So I'm gonna just go over some key points. The Roost is back. I think everyone knew that. Captain's back. He takes you to random islands. That's super cool. Group stretching. So actually, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about these you could say whatever you want. I know you're taking a back seat, but group stretching or aerobics. You know how Animal Crossing is like a time-based game, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So like there's aerobics now, and so aerobics was in the original Animal Crossing, and I'm kind of glad they brought it back, but it's motion control based. So you wake up, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go do my aerobics with all my villagers. And it's such a Japanese thing too, because like in Japan,
like a brand new Pokemon Go.
yeah, kind of like that. In Japan, they have like TV stations where it's just people doing like, all right, come on guys, let's do our little group stretch. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I'm not gonna do it, but I think it's cool that they're bringing it into Animal Crossing. And
there's a book where I'm not gonna say the title of it, but if you know it, then you'll know it. And it's like the TV is like a camera mixed in with it, and like the people have to do like mandatory morning exercises when they like at certain times of the day. And so it's like, Mr. Smith, you're not touching your toes. Come on, I know you can do it. And she like the person in the TV was like forcing him to go like.
I thought, isn't that a video, not a book?
No, it's a book.
Oh, I think I know what book you're talking about.
We read it sophomore year.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I know. Yeah. But I think that's super cool. Maybe I'll do it once on stream just to embarrass myself, but that's about it. They add in ordinances, which is like, if you're like me, I'm a night owl. I like to do all my stuff in the nighttime. You're able to make your whole town be like, okay, all the shops close at 12 and they open later. So like I wake up at like what, 12? And I go to bed.
Which 12, honestly? It's anyone's guess.
I go to bed at like 5. So,
I'm trying, people. I'm trying to get him on a sleep schedule, but a lot of his classes are online. So the one thing that could have got him on track, and it's gone.
Well, I mean, they're all going back to regular, so we'll see.
Then you better get in the swing of things, Mr. Type 1.
I know. But you're able to like make your whole town just be like, okay, everyone, you guys could sleep in and then you stay up early. I think that's great. I don't know why this wasn't in base game. This is just like the whole 2.0 update. Oh, and actually, this is the final free update for Animal Crossing, and I think that makes sense. This is pretty big, but or don't expect any new free content. Maybe just some fixes. There's cooking now in the game, which is pretty big for Animal Crossing. You're able to grow crops and cook. And I'm like, this is just perfect because I love Stardew Valley and just farming simulators. And now that Animal Crossing has it, it's just like, I'm gonna get back into it.
Perfect game. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, with this direct, I haven't played Animal Crossing in like 4 months. This made me want to get back into it, and I actually want to finish my town before the update. That gives me about like 2 weeks. I still got Dread to finish. I know.
Better get on that from Mr. Type 1.
I was debating on streaming it, but I'm like, you know what? I can't. So I'm trying to, grind through Animal Crossing. To the point where I have my like at least a presentable town, because right now it's just covered in weeds, and it's covered in like. Yeah, because I haven't attended to it for like 4 months. Yeah.
You can get Isabel to help you out.
Yeah, Isabel. Oh, and then so
no, the real Isabel.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't do anything. She's just like, okay, your town's a mess. Go do it.
No, the real Isabel.
Oh.
What?
Okay, so we have a friend.
Not
Okay. We have a friend named Isabel. That's about it. She loves Animal Crossing. She got mad at me that I stopped playing. That's it. So yeah, she can help me out. Also, something I feel like
not the fictional dog, Freddy.
it's in the background. I talk about her a lot. Okay.
The dog, not the real one.
Yes, the dog. There's an FPS mode now. First person mode in Animal Crossing. Any thoughts?
FPS. Okay, that means first person shooter. What are you shooting?
Oh, okay. Forget the S. It's just first person. Yeah, I'm like, what?
How would that even look?
So I didn't know how good it looked until it like happened. I didn't know I needed this in my life. So it's like apparently it's your phone, and so it's like a Nook Phone Plus. You get it, and your villager, and he's like, okay, let me take a photo, and it's just zoom, and it's just first person mode, and it's like, whoa.
So I know what I've seen like people play it, so I know what it looks like to play. I don't know how I could imagine first person.
I didn't think I needed it until I saw it, and I was like, whoa, this is cool.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. There's more hairstyles and emotes. Still none of them that match this. Messy, long, but pulled back. Like the closest the closest I could find has like a mini ponytail, but I don't want a ponytail on the back of my head. Yeah. There's more hairstyles.
Why don't you just get a haircut?
And there's I actually need to get a haircut. It's been like 3 weeks and my hair is already getting super long. But one of the emotes, which I'm surprised isn't in the game already, is jammin'. So your character just goes. Sorry for the audio only listeners. Literally, I was just bobbing my head up and down. And then there's also a say cheese. Like, I remember taking photos back when the Animal Crossing first came out, and I'm trying to like time the countdown clock with my emote, so like my character's smiling when the photo is taken. But this emote just alleviates the issue. I can't believe it. Gyroids are back. Something that hasn't been in the game since launch. I feel like it should have been in the game since launch. That's about it. They make noise. They're kind of cool. You can make some cool beats with them. Probably don't know. Hey, you know what bossa nova is?
No.
It's like the boom, 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 that kind of stuff. No.
Okay.
Oh,
sounds familiar enough.
Yeah. But it's basically that. It's just a bunch of like rocks banging with each other. They're like little guys. It's kind of cool. You wind them up and you go boop boop.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. Probably the biggest announcement out of this whole thing. Froggy chair.
Froggy chair.
Froggy chair. Jacob didn't know anything about Froggy chair before this show or before this episode, so I had to explain
the lore.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't even see it. Like, so they knew what they were doing. So the characters running across screen, and then dead center, you see like Froggy chair in the background. Like they were trying to hide it. They knew what they were doing. And then, funny enough, after the direct, Nintendo posted like those YouTube polls that you're able to answer. And it was like, oh, what are you most excited for in the direct? And it was like, oh, the new massive update, which we'll get into, or the first person mode, or cooking. The last one, Froggy chair. And then all you see is Froggy chair, 89%. And then everything else. And it's like, oh my God. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen my reaction, go ahead and check it out. Etis edited it. It's going to be on one of the corners. I literally screamed Froggy chair for like 2 minutes.
Was that what you were? Is that what I heard in the other room that day?
I probably woke you up. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So now another big thing on par with Froggy chair. They're releasing like a whole nother game with Animal Crossing called Happy Home Paradise. Basically, Sims house builder. It's the best way I could describe it to you. You could just design houses for your villagers. That's about it. $25. It's a whole new game.
Off topic, but I was playing Sims a while ago, and like I was having fun. It was a fun time, and I waited super long to get married. So by the time I had a kid, like my characters were getting old before he had grown up, and so I just haven't gone back in because I don't want to lose my guy. And so it's like an unfinished game. Well, I mean, technically you can't really finish Sims, but like. It's just a game that's been paused for months because I don't want my character to die.
Yeah,
I don't want my kid to be orphaned.
With this, there's a lot of memes about EA because like this is basically a Sims update kind. Because I mean, Animal Crossing is like Nintendo's version of Sims.
I mean, you have cooking and
yeah. But like everyone's like, oh yes, EA adds an update. Oh, $20, you could be in a city. Well, Nintendo, $20 or $25, and you get like literally double the content. But like this is crazy amount of content. I think the file size came out as like around 8 gigs. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Just the update?
Just this expansion, not the free update. So this direct was split up into 2 updates. The free update, which brings everything we've talked about, and this new update, which is paid $25, Happy Home Paradise. It's pretty big. Yeah, you basically design. I don't want to get too into it because I talked about it a lot in my other videos. Go ahead and check them out. I just did a 30-minute discussion of me talking to you guys. So if you want to know more about my thoughts, just go ahead and check that out. The key thing is this is $25, but they also announced the Nintendo Switch Online expansion price. It's $50 for a year. $50. What the?
That's like.
I know we already.
One of the things. The only reason that I bought Nintendo Online was because it was only $20. It's like every other service is like $60. And I'm like, oh, $20 for a year? You know, that's nothing.
So I think we're all like, okay, it's $20 for a year. I mean, I don't like paying for online, but you know, compared to the competitors, it's $20. It's not that bad. I get some free games. I get to play online. But this one's like, I'm paying extra for what? N64 games? Yes, that's cool. But like, I hardly use the Nintendo Switch Online expansion anyway. It's just, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago.
We talked
Like
about
what the
2
ratio would
episodes
be
ago.
like.
Yeah.
1.25 times, but I think this is a little
This
bit
is a lot.
unprecedented.
So we said at maximum it would be double the price, and this is more than double. So it's
Yeah.
like, because for people don't know, it's $20 for a year right now, and you get everything. But they're asking $50 for a year, and you get Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64, Nintendo Switch Online, and then you also get Happy Home Paradise DLC, which isn't quote unquote a bad deal. I rather own the DLC.
So is the DLC like a subscription service?
If you could buy the DLC or you could buy a subscription service.
So as long as you're subscribed with the $50 amount, you have the
Yes,
DLC
you have the
pack.
DLC.
Or you could just buy the DLC pack and stick with the 20.
I think this would be a better deal if they included other DLCs, not just the Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
If they like,
Because I mean, they have things. Sorry, go ahead.
If they included the Breath of the Wild DLC, that's 4 years old. They could include that. I don't think anyone's like looking to buy it. And if they haven't bought it and they're able to get it for free, then they'd play it. The Age of Calamity DLC, that's fairly new. They could add that. I'm trying to think of any. Maybe even the Season 1 Fighter Pass, not even the Season 2. Like, they could have added those. And I feel like that would have made it. Even though I already pay for it, I already bought it, that would have made Nintendo Switch expansion worth it.
Well, like, I think it'd be cool to choose your fighter pass, or you get like a pool of DLC and you get to pick like 2 from the list
That would
that you
be
get
cool.
bundled with your subscription.
Or it's like, yeah, that would be like you could choose Season 1 or Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's unfinished because they're like, oh yeah, we're adding all these games and we're going to be adding more to it. But like, I'm paying $50 now.
Yeah. If you want my $50 now,
Yeah.
finish your service now.
Yeah. But when I think about it, if you paid 20, right, and you're wanting to buy Happy Home Paradise and you're paying 25 for it, you're paying 45. So for $5 more, you could get the game for a year or get the update for a year plus the special perks. But then again, it's only for a year.
Yeah, you don't own it. Unless you do own it.
No, you don't. Once you buy it, once you pay for the subscription service, you only have it for that year.
So then what happens if like your subscription runs out? Do you just not get to play it anymore?
Yeah, you kind of get locked, I think. Game Explained did a whole video on that. Go ahead and check that out. It's something along the lines of once you stop paying for it, you can't access the island anymore.
I know that's like MMOs are like that. Like SWTOR, The Old Republic, and Wizard 101.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have premium versions,
Yes.
and if you don't have the version, you can't travel to like the premium spots.
Yes.
Even if you're like, even if you have the premium stuff, you can't really like use it.
Mm-hmm. And I think
I guess that might be what they're doing.
I think they specifically made this DLC for this because you have to travel to a different island to do all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they're able to like correlate it. But I feel like with a little bit of extra coding, they could be able to do that with the Fighters Pass is super easy. You just can't play the characters anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And same thing with Breath of the Wild. I'd say Breath of the Wild would be harder because you have like all this stuff in your inventory. Unless it's like it gets grayed out and it's like, oh, you have to pay for the service again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
Everyone's saying that it's not worth it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna buy the Happy Home Paradise DLC, but I'm not gonna buy the NSO expansion. Half of the reason is too, I want to play the N64 games, but playing an N64 game on a regular controller just wouldn't feel right because the games were designed with that 3-pronged controller in mind. And once I get that controller, like, because I'm planning on picking up sometime, maybe not when it initially comes out because they're super hard to find. But I'm planning to pick up the N64 controller that they're releasing. And once I do get that, maybe I'll try it out. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to change it, but
I think, well, it might be just like a money grab in the sense that they wanted to see how people would react to that steep of a price. And if it really hits them and like nobody's buying it, then I think they'll back off and say, okay, well, it's only 40 now or 45 or something like that. I think they're just like, they're being bold with it, seeing if, if we make it super high, people would still buy it.
Well, I feel like they're being bold with a lot of decisions. They're $350 for the OLED, and it's not even that big of a difference. And yeah, now the Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... I don't know. I have nothing else to add. Just, I urge you guys...
I'm such speechless by how
it says
expensive
something.
this stuff
It
is.
says something when I don't want to buy it.
Like, I didn't even have to convince him on this one. He came to it on his own.
Jacob, he's like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna buy it. I'll stick with the cheaper option. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Jacob.
Yeah, that's
like,
normal. Yeah.
I'm sticking with the cheaper option, and
that's how you know it's bad.
Yeah, but overall, the Animal Crossing Direct was great. That last little bit was but yeah, you should get into Animal Crossing. I'm telling Jacob,
it's cheaper than Sims. Sims is like, oh, $40 for just one DLC if you want to have pets and stuff or something.
You should
it's
totally
40 or
get
20.
it. It'd be super cool. Maybe for Christmas I'll buy it for you.
Bruh.
Well, you guys are still here. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and leave a like. It's greatly appreciated and it helps the channel out a lot. And subscribe if you haven't already. We do these every Wednesday, and we have other content every other day of the week. Again, if you haven't already, go ahead and comment down below any questions you have for me and Jacob. We'll try and answer them in the next podcast episode. Enough about that. Let's get right back into the video. Those were our two big topics. Now we got some small stuff. Pokemon returns to this year's Macy Day Parade with a special Pikachu and Eevee balloon. Super cute. I like it. Is this announcement a little early, you think?
Yeah. I imagine, like, obviously they have to, when the floats are massive, you have to plan them early. And I think you really need to announce them early, because they're almost doing it so early that they're going to hype people up for it, and it's going to dissipate by the time the parade comes around.
Like, I mean, so I think, I didn't really think about this. I think I might actually do a reaction to the Macy Day Parade, just because they stream it live and stuff. They have events. But yeah, I feel like this is just super early, and, it's always that joke where, Black Fridays gets earlier and earlier. And I'm already getting ads from Walmart for Black Friday. Like, just ads. They're not going on sale yet, but I'm already getting ads for it because I have a Walmart account.
It's coming.
I'm half tempted to try and go. Like, it'd be my first Black Friday alone. Because I've been to Black Fridays before.
Bro, have you seen our Walmart normally?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we live in a college.
I don't want to imagine what
I'd honestly want to kind of go to Vegas.
It's kind of a long drive, and Black Friday is early, so you would have to leave at like...
Well, no, if you think about it, because I'm going back to our hometown anyways. I could, like, stop by Vegas, go do Black Friday there, and then... When is Black Friday?
I mean, you would still have to leave at like 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the day after Thanksgiving. So
so I'd have to
go.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to try go Black Friday shopping. Probably the only thing I would buy is a PS5. But I don't even know.
For what? All right. Viewers, you can skip ahead here. I'm just gonna give Freddy a lecture on wiser spending habits. So what two games do you need this PS5 for?
Final Fantasy VII Remake, Persona 5 Royal.
2 games. How did I know? How did I know?
Because I say it a lot. I mean, there'd be more games. All right, actually, no, there isn't.
$500 plus $120 for the games.
Okay.
Foot down.
Maybe not.
Maybe for Christmas.
Well, see, I'm a Nintendo guy. Plus, I'm finally getting games for my PC. We're talking about getting, Minecraft Dungeons. What are the games that I just get?
Muck.
Muck, but that was free. But like, I'm actually trying to grow my Steam library. And if Final Fantasy VII Remake came out on the PC, I would buy it in a heartbeat.
Quick word of advice. I know a lot of the viewers are more like Nintendo based, so there's probably not a lot of PC users here. Word of advice: if your Steam library isn't filled with like at least 30 games that you have yet to even play, then you are not living the true PC Master Race life. You have to have a whole like section dedicated to games that you don't plan on playing, but you just have anyway because you thought you would want to play them, and then you never actually do play them.
Doesn't Steam do a fall sale?
Or but their big ones are winter and summer, but they do like autumn and spring sales.
Because I mean, I'm waiting because there's a bunch of games I want to get on the PC.
I would just wait till winter is a couple months away, so I don't know how long you want to wait. But they're usually better deals in winter.
The new Demon Slayer game came out, and it's for PS5 only and PC, and it's on Steam. And I was half tempted to get it because it came out on the 16th. But I was gonna wait till like a Steam sale because I'm pretty sure it'll go like at least a 10%, 20% discount.
They're usually older games though on the Steam sales. Like they don't have a lot of AAA titles that are.
Doom Eternal was on sale for last winter, and I was surprised because that was like a fairly new game. And yeah, one of our friends, I forgot his like Silent, I forgot his other, he bought it for only like $30, and yeah, I'm like, that's crazy because that game was fairly new. It came out like I don't know when, but I think I'd like to say at least 3 months old, which I feel like is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's really recent. Yeah, I know they're usually franchises that go on sale too. So they'll do like the Call of Duty franchise, which isn't really much on Steam. That's all on Battle.net now. They'll do the Lego franchise. They'll do the Star Wars franchise.
I'm pretty sure Minecraft Dungeons is also going to go on sale, and I would, pick that up too.
If it's on sale, I'd probably buy it.
I know
I don't know if I like spending another $20 though.
Yeah. Well, it's probably going to be like $40 for everything. Like the
DLC bundle. Yeah, but they'll probably also do the game by itself.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was trying to think of another game. I mean, there's just a lot of games I have on my Switch that I kind of want to experience on the PC.
Forager.
Forager, Wizard of Legend. Trying to think of more. Dead Cells, that's another really good one. A lot of roguelikes are more. But yeah, back on topic. The 2021 lineup for the Macy Day Parade, most of it's already gotten announced, but Star Wars, Grogu, Sonic the Hedgehog, SpongeBob SquarePants, and even Dragon Ball's Goku are going to be featured as floats. I'm kind of excited for Dragon Ball, I'm not going to lie.
Did you even watch Dragon Ball that much?
I didn't. I tried getting into it, but it's like...
You're such an anime normie, Freddy.
What? I think Dragon Ball is like this most normie. It's the most Western anime I could think of.
It is. Yeah. It is the only anime where you can wear like Dragon Ball clothing and you don't get like...
Well, that's why I think Goku is in here and not like Demon Slayer. Because Demon Slayer was the #1 anime of last year. So if I were to think of an anime that would be on a float, it would be Demon Slayer, which you haven't watched it. I think you should totally watch it. Season 2 is about to come out. But
no more new anime. only seasonal revivals.
Bruh.
Strict policy.
You stopped. Never mind.
We still haven't watched the
movie.
The ReZero movie.
We're gonna have a whole episode on anime because I have a lot to talk about.
Let's stream that movie. Actually, we can do that, right? It's legal.
If
live reaction.
If there was a anime float, I feel like it'd be Demon Slayer. But I think Goku is it because
mainstream
for one,
not too esoteric.
So much apparel for it as well. I'm surprised Sony isn't on here yet, and Sony owns now basically 99% of anime. So I don't know if Sony is the one that did Dragon Ball or it's Dragon Ball's producers. If that makes sense.
I would. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I don't know.
Because Sony owns Funimation and Crunchyroll. I wouldn't be surprised if they did a Demon Slayer float. We'll have to see. I think I am going to watch it live because they have nice music. Actually, I don't know if it'll be copyrighted. But the event's going to be on 25th, November 25th, on in New York. That's basically every year. I think last year it got canceled though. So
if you want to avoid copyright, you just gotta fly out to New York and record it yourself.
Yeah.
Hire some of your digital art classmates to use those newfound photography skills that you guys learned to record various angles.
We still have yet to do a school episode.
College.
We wanted to do one, but our roommate's kind of schedule is a little all over the place. So is mine. It's hard to line up 3 people. So
it's kind of funny. This has almost become like a new, like there's always so much news that we can never just talk. Yeah, it's always like, alert. There's a new, direct. We've had so many directs.
I know, the more I think about it, because I'm trying to figure, I hate, so the podcast, I have like a podcast folder. If you guys want to check it out, it'll be in the description. Or it's just all the episodes of the podcast. And literally, like every one of them is their direct predictions, and then let's talk about the direct prediction. Let's talk about the direct. Yeah. So it's to the point where
Nintendo needs to stop having direct.
Yeah, I think it's to the point where I kind of want to not have the direct or the let's talk. I don't know, because it's just I'd like to like separate them. I guess like have either the direct predictions in like one of those, just me talking to the camera like I did for Animal Crossing, or let's talk about the direct in a separate video, because I hate for every podcast episode to be about a direct. But it's my channel's starting to look more full, because it used to be you look at the subscription and it's just podcast episodes, but now it's like podcast episodes 1 to 3 videos in between podcast episode 1 to 3 videos. I've been doing fairly good like that with the help of Etis.
Etis, I was gonna say, yeah, thanks to Etis.
But I was doing pretty good even before him, and now with him I'm able to pump out 4 to 5 videos now. We're talking about doing something. It's a little hint for what's to come. But yeah, so speaking of PS5, just a little off the rant. For the first time in 33 months, Switch wasn't the US best-selling console in September.
Yep. I mean, I think I was gonna make a joke about like, oh, console peasant, whatever. But I realized, given the price of PC parts,
yeah.
PC's probably pretty low on that list too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but for the first time in 33 months, a console other than the Nintendo Switch has topped the US charts in September, as reported by the NPD Group's Matt Pixilla. Sony's PlayStation 5 was September's best-selling hardware platform in both units and in dollar sales. Yeah.
Well, also more expensive than the Switch.
But yeah, so. But I think the whole unit thing speaks for itself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the OLED was supposed to combat that, but it just failed.
Well, they didn't even release it till October, so I don't know how they plan to combat it.
Maybe they're like, oh, I'm gonna save my money for OLED instead. I don't know.
I don't think people were saving their money for it. I don't think anyone was doing that. Don't let Nintendo hear us. Don't. Yeah. No offense.
I'm trying to get Nintendo affiliated. No, we were all trashing on the NSO. But it's
constructive criticism as well.
Yeah, it's a little surprising. The whole 33. I knew it was best selling for a while, but I just didn't know when it would stop. Until now, I feel like now is a good time for it to be finally toppled.
Or maybe because so many people were buying the OLED, less people were buying the Switch.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but isn't the OLED considered the Nintendo Switch? Yeah, I don't know how they count it. But like if it was the split user base of people buying the OLED instead of the Switch, that would make sense, and Nintendo dug their own grave. I think this is only going to be like a 1 month thing. October, September, October.
There's November. So many games coming up.
Yeah, so November. Oh yeah, next year is going to be so packed. We're going to have to do like an end of the year roundup just for our thoughts of what the years to come. But next year is going to be so packed. I'm pretty sure they're going to announce another Switch. I think I've already said this, but this coming Christmas, the Switch is going to be back on bestsellers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many games that's going to bump up the sales just by...
Yeah, for one, there's so many games. For two, they released a massive Animal Crossing update, which is like, I gotta say, like 50% of the user base, I feel like. More than that.
Broad claim.
Well, I mean, because if you think about it, because the Switch,
It appeals to. I know we've talked. I don't know if it was on the show, but I know we talked about it. It appeals to like every kind of
everyone, yes,
audience.
and it's so weird to find it because like I feel like the reason why the console did so well is it appealed to the female demographic, and a lot of consoles do that. And if you're able to appeal to like 50% of the world, you basically tapped a market that is untapped. And Nintendo was able to do that. And then once they got them in, they're like, oh, look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They're like, oh, I love Mario Kart. Let me go buy that. And I know that kind of just seemed kind of sexist, but like, still, it just.
I mean, in general,
I'm like that
I don't
too.
know of any girls who are playing Doom Eternal. So
I don't know of a lot of people that liked Final Fantasy VII, God of War, Doom Eternal. Like these are all PS5 exclusives. Like, yeah. Same thing with Xbox. Xbox like had what, Forza, I guess Minecraft, but Minecraft isn't exclusive. So it's like, yeah. Nintendo just tapped into an untapped market again because they did this right with the Wii, and now they did it with the Nintendo Switch. And now with this massive update, they're going to attract even more people. They're going to bring back the people that, kind of fell off the Nintendo or Animal Crossing. And they're like, oh, there's another massive update. Let me get back into it. Exactly like what I'm doing. Let me get back into it. But yeah, this isn't going to last long. It'll be like 1 to 2 months. And then boom, the Switch is back on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go straight to our, what is it? I don't know what you want to call it. Our Pokemon topic of the week.
Oh, can never have an episode of Gamemode C without a Pokemon topic.
I know we already had the Macy Day, but this is like Pokemon game news. But so some editor copies of the game of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl came out. Like IGN, GameSpot, Game Informer shared some information because like Pokemon Company gave it to them. They're like, oh, write an article on this, and they're like, oh, of course. So one of the key
differences. They didn't give it to us. We're one of the most popular Nintendo channels on the platform.
Oh, I wish. I want to be a Nintendo affiliate, but I also don't want to because it's a bunch of like contracts. I can't say stuff I want to say after that.
You're gonna have to kick me off the show. Can't make fun of I can't sway your viewers from watching or from buying Nintendo products anymore.
But according to all of these news sources, the EXP share cannot be turned off in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. What are your thoughts? Are you of the camp of like I don't care, or are you of the party of this makes the game way too easy?
I don't care. I use EXP shares. I'm basic like that. But I think that they should still have the ability to turn it off. Because I know a lot of complaints by fans are that the games are just too easy.
Yes.
And so you could mitigate that by turning off your EXP share. But if you can't turn it off, then you're forced into an easy game.
Yes.
If you have the option, then if you want to take an easy route, then you can leave it on. But if you don't, you can turn it off. So, and I think they should have the choice for that and not force you to keep it on. But I mean, it doesn't really affect me because I'm going to use it anyway. So unless they're making this game like substantially harder, then I don't think there's any reason to keep to put that setting in there.
Yeah. A common complaint is like, oh, Pokemon's too easy. And as you said, turning it off would make it harder. And that is a common criticism, or it's a common comeback to the whole complaint of, oh, Pokemon's too easy. It's like, oh, then just make it harder yourself. It's so easy to make Pokemon hard. Just make it a Nuzlocke. And you choose to make it easy. But I feel like, doing this, turning EXP, making it non-toggleable, you're making the people saying Pokemon's way too easy. You're giving them a point because they cannot make it easier for them. They cannot make it harder for themselves.
Yeah. You lose one of your they want it to be hard. They can make it hard themselves, but you've removed one of the few defenses you have going in your favor.
Yeah. But a part of me thinks like, what? You're not really making it harder. You're just making it more grindier. Like, oh, look, now I had to bottle an extra 100 more Pokemon. EXP share.
Well, I think the idea is that like your other Pokemon are leveled, so if you happen to need them, they're there.
Yeah.
You can see all my hand gestures with the shadow in the background. That's funny. If you need them, like they're there. Whereas if you don't have the EXP share, you might say, all right, well, I'm only going to grind out like 3 of my 6 Pokemon for this
Yes.
next gym. And then, if you need those other 3 that you didn't grind, well, then you're in, a tough spot. And that makes it more difficult. I know that with me, regardless of if I have an XP share or not, I will grind like all of my I will keep them all in league with each other.
Yeah.
So
Oh
I'll do
yeah,
like
exactly.
checkpoints. So like I'll get all of them to 35, then I'll go fight the gym, and then get all of them to 40, and then I'll go fight the next gym.
But if you're
So I
like
mean, I'm
that,
gonna do it anyway, but this just makes it easier or harder depending if you use it on or off.
a lot of people are saying this makes the game easier, but I see it as it's just a quality of life improvement. Instead of battling 80 more Pokemon to get all your Pokemon on the same level, you're just battling 10. And yes, I guess that detracts from the whole battling thing, but it's like, do you want to waste time doing the same repetitive stuff?
I think grinding, I mean, there's an element where you need grinding to like keep you invested, but there's a point where it's like, this isn't even fun anymore.
Well, yeah,
Well, it was like I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty lately, and I just got a diamond camos on my machete and ballistic knife. And basically, for those that haven't played COD, you have camos, and they're like linked to achievements. So you get X amount of kills, you get, X amount of double, like they're achievements for your weapon.
Yes.
And a gold camo is when you get all achievements, and a diamond camo is like you have to get multiple gold of the same class. So to get like a diamond sniper, you have to get multiple gold snipers. Well, to get the knife or to get the machete and the ballistic knife, you had to like grind out all the achievements. And so for probably a week, the only loadout I was using was a machete and a ballistic knife. And I mean, it was fun to grind, but to a point, it's like eventually I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to like use a sniper or something.
I do agree. I think the Pokemon company, the Game Freak, is trying to make the game less grindy, and I feel like that's good. But the people that are complaining are the people who played back in the day, the core audiences. Because right now the audience is split. The people who used to play the games are the old generation players, and then the new generation players. I'd say like Sun and Moon. It's kind of split. Like we're kind of. I think we've already said this in the podcast before. We're in the middle. We're like Gen 5, and that's like the turning point of Pokemon where we kind of grew up with both, but we experienced more of the new side than the older side.
Gen 5's EXP share was like the other ones where you can only put it on one Pokemon.
Yeah, but that was the last time that ever happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Gen 5 was pretty. I know the sequel games even had like a challenge mode that if it was still too easy, you could even you could bump up. I think it was like 10 levels, 10 or 20 levels, all like the Elite Four and the gym leaders and stuff. But I know I struggled on Black and White 1 just by itself. No challenge mode needed.
I know Black and White's hard mode because in the beginning of the game, you're able to choose. I think White had the easy mode, Black had hard mode. And first, I don't know why they did it like that. It made no sense. But if you chose hard mode, it basically meant the trainers had higher levels, which basically meant you just had to grind more. And it's just back to that saying, like, do you want to grind more? Does more grinding make the game inherently harder? Like, what makes the game harder?
I see what you're saying.
What makes the game harder is you have to choose, do I want to fight this gym leader at level 16 or level 20 or level 30?
Yeah, I think to make it actually harder, you would like have to fix the AI.
Yes, exactly.
Focus like super effective. I mean, I think they do that already. If they have a super effective move, they do it. But maybe
on
like the easy mode, you have it set so that they only do the super effective move like 20% of the time.
And I think that'd be awesome if they did something like that because they have multiple AIs. Like in Sword and Shield, the last person, Leon, he had like a superb AI. He was like, he countered moves. His Charizard had a grass type move. So I sent out, water type to counter his fire. But then he countered that with a grass type move. And I was like, I did not expect that.
Well, that's like, again, my Gen 5 worship. Going to the Unova Elite Four, all of their Pokemon had counters. I know like Marshall, all of his guys had aerial ace, and that was like, you would send out, wait, was it? No, it might have been Grimsley. One of them, but they had aerial ace, so you would send like a bug type to counter them. They would hit you with the aerial ace and just destroy you. But
I mean,
that's good. That's challenging design when they have good move sets, they have good AI. That's how you make the game harder.
And it's something
not
where
just
you yourself have to
more.
work around, because you're like, oh, this Charizard has grass type, so now I should probably do a rock type instead of grass or water to something, because it's something that's still effective against fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just more effort on Game Freak's part. They can make the game harder in a good sense without it being grindy. It's just Game Freak decides not to. Because they could make the game harder by adding, like, each gym leader has 6 Pokemon instead of 3 or something like that.
That would be that'd be unprecedented.
Like, that would be crazy. Like, I would love that. But I don't know. Game Freak.
Be kind of funny, like as a hit against all the it's too easy. So like when you select like you wanted hard mode, it's like the gym leader. Normally I use 3 Pokemon for new trainers, but since you want to talk so much smack, I think I'll be using my full party. And then like decimate them.
I think I've already explained this. I want them to use more of the manga stuff, because the people who wrote the manga have a sense of world building. I feel like Game Freak, yes, it's world building, but it's like they're game developers at heart. The people.
Their story is one part, but the big part is battling.
Yeah. So
there's no the manga. There isn't only battling because you're not the one controlling anything. So it's all story.
Yeah, the manga is created by people who are creative at heart, who are meant to create story. Yeah, who are writers. And I feel like they see these things that Game Freak doesn't. And if Game Freak took a little bit of that, maybe even hired some of the manga writers, because I don't even think they have a lot of story writers. I think they only had 2 for Sword and Shield, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. But if they had some sort of like writer to kind of like tie everything together, like, oh yes, gym leaders correlate to how strong the trainer is, that makes sense. Like, of course, like the gym leader has to be challenging, but not challenging enough where he's going to decimate every single trainer that comes by. So he has his different sets of teams for different sets of trainers. And I'm like, that just makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. Overall, I mean, I'm still going to pick up Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. This doesn't change anything for me. It just brings back up that whole argument of what makes Pokemon easy and should we change it? Yeah. So I think with that, we should go to our question of the week, or chat box question. We actually have one this week. I kind of skipped last week. Yeah, if you guys want to be a part of the show, go ahead and comment down below on YouTube. Next week, so I'm only going to grab questions from YouTube, but you could join our Discord, chat with people, and also comment questions in there. And if we have like a dry day, we'll go ahead and look through Discord as well. But today's question comes from Neon on Discord. What would you guys like to see in Breath of the Wild 2?
Kind of 2 unique perspectives here, because you have a Breath of the Wild this side, right?
Oh, no,
you have a Breath of the Wild veteran.
I'm up now.
Oh yeah. Breath of the Wild veteran. I think I just played like 20 minutes.
You play like 20 minutes of it, yeah.
So like very, very different perspectives for this. So I'll let you go first.
So, I mean, Breath of the Wild, I've said this a lot. I want to see playable Zelda. I want to see a companion, because in Breath of the Wild 1, or the first Breath of the Wild, you're alone. Like the only quote unquote companion you had was a horse, maybe the dog if you had the amiibo, but like you were alone. You were lonely. It was sad. And like I can imagine.
Man, this game's pretty accurate.
Like imagine Breath of the Wild 2 with Zelda, and they don't have to be like romantically interested in each other, but it could build like they have like a strong connection to the point where it's like, I care for her.
A female side character who's not romantically interested. Man, they're just hitting the nail on all these real life tropes, I guess.
But like, I want to see playable Zelda, or Zelda that follows you. I want to see some sort of companion. Make Link less lonely. That, and then just classic open world stuff. I mean, just better open world. What about you?
I would say similarly. The one thing with single player games and why I don't like them is because they're usually so quiet. like, you have your music, you have your big action scenes,
You have a
but
point.
when you're just by yourself, playing alone a single player game, it's so secluding. You feel so distant from reality because you're in this game. You're not talking to anyone else.
Hmm.
So this is like the reason I can't really play single player games is because like this feeling of loneliness is like too
Yeah.
intense. And so Outer Wilds was one. It was such an interesting game, but like it was almost too trippy. Skyrim's another one. Skyrim for me is it's just too you're too in the game and you're too separate from reality and you feel so like distant. I mean, it's cool for like a couple hours, but after a while it's like this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
It feels like ominous almost.
Hmm.
And so I think having even though like if it's not a person, it doesn't really fix the problem.
Hmm.
You could at least aid the problem by having it's like it's like a companion.
Yeah. Are you saying like you want
Mhm.
some sort of online functionality?
I think that would be ideal
Hmm.
personally. And you wouldn't have to if you do enjoy single player games and you can
Hmm.
do it all alone. But I think having like you can spawn in to another person's world and like help them out,
That would be
and you have
interesting.
that
Yeah.
interaction,
Hmm.
and then it would scale obviously. So if you're
Something
running
similar to
like
like
two people,
Genshin
it's not
Impact or
gonna.
something.
Uh, no, I'm not familiar with Genshin
Okay.
Impact,
Yeah.
fortunately. Yeah, but no, like it would scale. So a boss would be harder if you were two manning it rather
Yeah.
than just soloing it. But having that companionship and
Hmm.
not just like an AI, like actually a legitimate
Yeah.
um the capability if you want it to have a person in there, I think would be a cool addition. And I'm not saying like you need to have mass multiplayer lobbies, literally just like one
Like,
slot,
yeah.
like one I mean, black and white or yeah, black and white. You could you have like the interlink where you could
Hmm.
be in the other person's world and you didn't really do anything. But I think a system like that where it just feels more lively in the reality sense and not you're not so overloaded and immersed in the game.
I think you just don't understand single player games. Because
But
I understand where you're coming from. When you first get into a game and you don't know if you're going to enjoy it, like this was me in Persona 5. I started Persona 5 knowing it's an 80-hour long game. And I'm like, what am I doing? It's just me. I have no sense of, like, I feel like I am not progressing because I am not, it's not online. I'm not comparing myself to anyone. But then, once you get engrossed in the story, you're like, whoa, I want to know what happens next. It's like reading a good book. You can't put it down. It's just living in the back of your head. And that's like me and Metroid Dread right now. Like I cannot stop thinking about Dread until I, play it again. Then it quenches my thirst and then I'm at work and I'm like, you know what? There was that room I completely forgot to go into. And then, I hop back on stream. I go check it out. I'm like, hey, yeah, I remember this one working and yada yada yada. But
one second, I want to Google the definition of addiction real quick.
but
I mean, I put it down, I feel good, but then shortly after I'm at work and it just pops back in my mind.
It's just you just haven't had a
Do we need
good.
to hold an intervention, Freddie? We'll do it live. We'll let the viewers. You can
Do
super
let the
chat in
viewers.
your intervention.
So I mean, I see where you're coming from, and what you just brought up is like Genshin does that perfectly, and Genshin is a Breath of the Wild clone, quote unquote. Some people are gonna get mad that I just said that, but it's open world with story driven elements. But you could theoretically play Breath of the Wild without playing any of the story. If that makes sense. There's just so much you can do. Same thing with
It's open,
Genshin.
yeah, it's just
Yeah,
open.
you could play Genshin without playing any of the story. You don't have to spend any money. It's just you and the world and you exploring the world. Genshin has a system where you and another player can just explore the world. But once you go into a story quest, you can only do that by yourself. And there's some quests you could do like multiplayer, but they're all side quests. There's no story quests. And the minute you brought that up, the more I'm like, that would be so cool. Because if Genshin, a quote unquote Breath of the Wild clone, does it super well, why can't Breath of the Wild do it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a good middle ground too. So like some areas you can do co-op, but others are like limited. You can only do this yourself.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like in Genshin, if you try and start a story quest with 2 players, it's like, oh, you have too many people in your world. You know, start this once you're alone or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be a good balance between the two.
Mm-hmm. I mean, overall, Breath of the Wild is definitely going to be a game changer. I don't think they would add multiplayer. We would have to see because I just don't know how. Because I don't
think they would, just because
they have to be
continuing with the single player theme of the first one.
Yeah, and Link is already alone in most of the trailers, which worries me because they showed in the first trailer Zelda was with them 100%. The second trailer, it's like, where's Zelda? Like, she was in the cave, but where's what? And I'm worried that Zelda's gonna get caught in the cave. Yada yada yada. You gotta go save her. Ganon teleports you somewhere else. And it's just, I want to see more of Zelda, especially this one, because this one's by far one of the best Zeldas ever. Just classic, smart, nerdy girl, and I'm like, damn.
Bruh.
Okay, well, I think that's a good point to end.
Any of your classmates watch your videos, Freddy?
I think that's a good point to end the podcast. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and like the video, and we're working on getting this on platforms, on podcast platforms. I have to buy a longer cable. We tried connecting because our rooms are like close to each other. We tried connecting his mic to my PC so we could get just crisp audio instead of Discord compression. But you can't couple cables, so I have to buy one massive one. But if you guys haven't already, go ahead and check out the countdown stream. It is going to be down. Actually, by the time this comes up, it's already been down and everything. We're going through a power outage soon. Subscribe if you haven't already. We do these every Wednesday, and we're looking to do around 5 videos a week. I didn't say that. Yeah. Check out the Crafty Cafe in the description below. It is 10 times better than the Brewster's Cafe, but you know, you can't get coffee yet.
You haven't added that bot yet, and still in development.
I haven't added, yeah. Anyways, I am Freddy, also known as Crafty Type 1.
I am Jake, also known as TatorTot.
And we will see you guys next Wednesday.